Hello, everyone. We're here today with a patient of mine, a long-term patient. Monica has been a patient of my chiropractic office for a number of years, and we've crossed over with some of the information that I use up here in the center about nutrition and different things that we've kind of interfaced on over the years that have helped her. So I asked Monica to come today to just speak to you a little bit about her experiences over the years, because she's been a patient of mine for...
Well, it's at least 23 years, but probably more.
A few years.
Yeah.
But Monica's got quite a story and multiple stories, really, from different things that she's experienced over the years. So I'm going to let Monica speak. She's going to freewheel a little bit and tell you her story.
Okay. It's good to be here, by the way.
Well, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And you're going to help a lot of people, because a lot of people don't know the information that you're going to share with them from your experiences. So experiential information is always beneficial for others who have never been through it.
Well, as you said, I've been a patient here, coming here for at least 23 years, but probably longer, because time just kind of clips along faster than what we'd like. But I came because of constant lower back pain and issues. And you can correct me anytime if
I might interject a little bit.
Yeah. You may. But with herniated discs, degenerative disc disease, and just issues that just left me unable to stand up and walk. I was a single mom at the time when I started here at this practice. I had 3 children at home, working full-time and part-time jobs. There was a lot of stress. A
lot of stress, and simply amazing that you were able to manage through all that, but it was a challenging time.
It was, especially then having my oldest having cancer and a rare form that needed treatment up in New York City. So it really, I needed to stay mobile and active. And I remember that one time I was almost had to be carried into the office. And you just kept fixing me up.
We kept you going for a number of years. Yes, we did.
And this was without prescriptions. It was without over-the-counter medicine. It was without surgery or other therapies. And you kept me going, and for that I could never thank you enough.
Well, it was your body that kept you going. We just helped it along. You know, it really was, because if we give the body the opportunity to heal itself, oftentimes it does.
So then I retired.
I remember that. Yeah, that was challenging.
And which was a real blessing in my life to experience that. And so my stress came down. No more being carried in the office. I didn't have near the back episodes that I had had. But I continue with my monthly maintenance, which is so important. And what happened as a result, it enabled me to go back to work. And here I am at age 70, almost working full-time again.
Almost against doctor's recommendation, don't forget. Because Monica has a tendency, when she gets into something, she gets into it 100%, maybe 110.
You're not wrong. But anyway, it has enabled me to get down on the floor and keep playing with my grandchildren, which is a non-negotiable. And it's keeping me independent in my home, doing all my own yard work and maintenance and cleaning. I might not like doing it, but I can do it. So
it's a necessary evil.
Yeah. So, but anyway, it's just I am so thankful to be able to be living the life I am and enjoying it because of my mobility and the result of just your care here.
Now, you've had a couple other experiences that went beyond your chiropractic care too, didn't you?
I did. I actually had two kind of spectacular experiences with supplements that you gave me. So this is where talking about the interfacing with the with
crossover kind of.
Yeah. So a number of years ago, I thought I had poison ivy, which I've had a lot of experience with it. So there was just no question in my mind that this rash all over myself was poison ivy. But then I ended up waking up one morning with my eyes shut. It's like, oof. So that began a series of trips to urgent care and trips up to Allentown for my doctor for multiple steroid shots and courses of pills. And just to my dismay, nothing was helping it. My face was just all blown up and rash all over, and I was really becoming panicked. And in the middle of that, I get a call from you because I had been missing my chiropractic appointments.
Where's Monica?
And so you called me to say, what's going on? And when I explained it to you, you said, because I was heading up to Allentown again and to see my doctor and medical doctor, and you said, stop in the office on the way home. I have something that I want you to try. So I did, and I took it exactly as you instructed me to. And to my utter amazement, by that evening, my face was so much better, and by the next day, the rash was gone. It's like what courses of steroid had not done. And so obviously it was not poison ivy, but whatever it was, some kind of autoimmune reaction, what you gave me just took care of it.
Yeah.
And the relief, I was pretty dumbfounded with that result.
Well, and this is part of what we're about, because really what we have to do oftentimes is identify the cause of an issue, as opposed to just focusing so much on the symptoms. You know, you had a totally inflammatory condition. You know, your face was swollen, as I recall. Your eyes were swollen shut, and you know, so naturally, from a conventional medical standpoint, that's inflammation. We got to give you something to bring that inflammation down fast, which I understand. But there was more to it than that. There was something causing that inflammation, which wasn't identified. So we were able to kind of mitigate that relatively rapidly and get you moving again and going, because you're not the kind of person that can be down.
This is true. So then I mentioned that there were two. The second experience I had with supplements was just last month. It was on September 4th, to be exact. And I showed up in the office here for my maintenance chiropractic adjustment. But I was very sick, and I'd canceled almost everything else going on for me because of how ill I felt. But I kept my chiropractic appointment because I've learned that having an adjustment also speeds up healing, just helps your whole body heal from whatever is ailing it. So anyway, I was here in the throes of just some kind of upper respiratory thing, which in my experience just always ends up in my chest with just a deep, hurtful cough, and bronchitis, and the congestion, which felt like a spigot was turned on in my head, and always ended up with infection in my sinuses, and just spending time in bed, and yet another course of antibiotics, which I just hate that I just have had to use them as often as I have through my life. And so just dreading what was ahead in the next few days. And you looked at me and you, after I explained all this, and you said with this confidence, I have something that'll fix you up if you promise to take it.
And take it the way I would recommend
Yes,
it too. Yeah.
And there was something just about, and the reason I know you had to say that is because I'm not always the best listener. So, and you know that about
That's
me.
a kind way to put that. Yes.
But there was something about the confidence in which you turned and said and looked at me and said that, and how miserable I was feeling, that I listened. And I'm so glad that I did, because this was Thursday afternoon, and by early Sunday morning, I was on my feet at work for eight hours, interacting and talking with tons of people, which is part of my job, without a sign of that horrible cough and no sign of the severe congestion. I didn't pick up one tissue through that entire morning or day. And you called me the next day to just check on me and see how I was liking the supplement. And I explained this to you, what happened, and it was like, these are like magic pills. That's how I felt.
And that's what you said to me, as I
Yeah,
recall.
yeah. It's like, I have never experienced anything like that, where what I was, where I thought I was heading with my illness was just stopped in its tracks and reversed, and that I was, and this was again without any over-the-counter medicine, without antibiotics, and again I was just totally amazed.
Well, and there were a couple things that you said that I think are really important for us to emphasize. Number one, you were sick, and yet you came in. Oftentimes patients will call and they'll say, I'm sick, I can't come in. But they don't recognize the effect of a chiropractic adjustment on their immune system, on their entire body. And, you know, oftentimes I will have patients like yourself who come in who have a headache or a sinus pressure or congestion or sore throat, and we adjust them, and almost immediately sometimes they have relief from what they are experiencing. So that's a really important point. But it took years of education to get you to the point where you understood that too, because most people don't. They don't get it. You know, they think if they have a cold, they have to take Advil and Tylenol and you know, all this stuff. And, you know, that's not always the best answer. The second thing that I want to comment on is that you said you came in before it got too bad. And that's really important for people to recognize too. Because sometimes if it gets too bad, I'm going to be the one who's referring you to the primary care or whatever for antibiotics or steroids or whatever you need, because you've gone too far. It's almost too hard to bring you back at that point. Not that what we don't do isn't going to be effective and helpful, it's just that you need some extra help to get over the hump sometimes. So you didn't let yourself get to that point, and that's critical. That's really an important issue. You also have been holding something up every time you speak. You want to show everybody what you're holding up?
I do. Because another thing that I love about this practice here is just how passionate you are about educating us. And I've come to a few seminars that you've held here. I remember one a few years ago on Alzheimer's. And I haven't said this to you, but I just recently read an article from the medical profession of things they are discovering about in their work with Alzheimer's. And I remember hearing that from you a number of years ago, sitting here at one of your seminars. And so your monthly, the newsletters that you write, this book that he wrote, like, holy cow, there's just some gems in here. And as I prepared for coming here and doing this, I dug this out and looking at it again, realizing I need to read this again, so.
And this is the importance of not only the educational component, but re-educating. So looking at things again, reading things again. Some of the information, like you said about Alzheimer's, the medical community needs published medical research over and over again before something becomes routine. And that takes sometimes a decade for that to occur. Sometimes that information, which really almost is, I don't want to say common sense, but it makes sense, can be applied earlier on and create almost like clinical studies of people as they improve. Some of the things that we talked about, and Alzheimer's is near and dear to my heart because of my father having it and my grandfather. And there's so much that can be done. We treat a number of patients who have cognitive decline here in the center. And, we change their lifestyle. We change what they're eating, what they're doing. Sometimes people don't even understand how important oral health is to your overall health. So there are a lot of things that we can kind of help people understand and apply into their routine lives like you have. And really change their lives. And as we say in the book, the title is, Dr. Pfeiffer's Guide to a Longer, Healthier Life. Well, that's what we want. We don't just want a longer life. Because you can have a long life and not be functional or well. We want you to be well through that entire lifespan. We're all going to come to an end, but we want it to be functional until the end. That's really our goal. So Monica has done some amazing things over her lifetime, and if we really look back, I commend you for what you were able to do, bringing up your children by yourself. All those years and all the hard work, I can relate to that because I have a grandmother who did that. My grandfather died when my mother was 5 years old, and she raised 4 children herself. So I understand what that means and how important that is to be able to do. And you were functional through that period, and we helped in a way with some of that functionality. So is there anything else you want to say before we tune out?
Just thank you.
Well, thank you. And this is important for this month, right? This is the month that we are reminded to give thanks. And I'm thankful for every patient like yourself who has trusted us with their care, the care of their children oftentimes. I have patients I treat 4 or 5 generations of patients, and I'm totally blessed to have the opportunity to treat patients now for 4 decades who have really given us the opportunity to help them learn, become more healthy overall, and to take care of them. So thank you, and thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.
You're so
Great
welcome.
story. Great story, right? So if we could get applause out there, it'd be great because Monica deserves it. But you guys have a great time today. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. This is the month to be thankful for everything you have. And we'll be bringing you another story soon. Take care.
So long.